Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're just going to do another velocity banking review. So, what is velocity banking? All it is a debt payoff strategy where you throw all of your money into debt with the help of a line of credit. Okay, all of your money into debt with the help of a line of credit. But before we get started, we're gonna have a little nice story time. We'll call it the Cam Cult Leader story time. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, let's tell a story. So I actually used to do these velocity banking presentations in real life, and what's funny is I could clearly see that the audience understood and then they would not be interested in asking any questions or just like they just like leave the room as soon as possible and like well that's the last thing I expected to happen because if someone told me that there's an easy debt payoff strategy I'd be like wanting to learn more about it, right? But I found that most people are just like too afraid to learn velocity banking for some reason, even though it's like literally like not 80% of it is just not saving any money, right? 20% of it is like getting a line of credit to help you not save the money. And people are just too afraid. It's crazy. That's how I came up with the term velocity banking poker face when people see like the dramatic, and I'm kind of like skipping ahead here, where you go from $0 to $2,392 in an instant without making more money, right? And I personally don't like how most people present it, which is why I started the YouTube channel a long time. I was like, I've known this stuff since what 2017, 2018, and I look at it on YouTube and like, oh, I don't really like it. I don't like the whiteboard. I don't like how it's explained with like amortized interest versus simple interest because a loan is technically simple interest, right? I don't like any of that, right? And because some people kind of explain it wrong, that's why they get challenged, right? They get challenged like, well, why would you pay an 8% line of credit on a 3% loan? And then you'll say something stupid like you should get a first lien HELOC when you shouldn't, right? So that's why I present. There's a certain way I do present it that so you can't. By the end of the presentation, you can't challenge me. You can't because that's just how I do things, right? And so the way that I present velocity banking is is simply this. Let's say you made decent money, okay? And after all expenses, you have nothing left over. Income equals expenses, right? And you have a ton of debt. 3 big credit cards, an auto loan, a student loan, a mortgage, right? And then you got your $2,000 a month in food, gas, insurance, and you have no savings. Do you need to make more money to get out of debt quickly? It's a simple question. Like you don't go over like, well, it's amortized versus simple. No, 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 no. Do you just simply ask the person, do you need more money to get out of debt quickly? Do you need to make more money? And almost everybody will say yes. You need to make more money. Look, you got zero left over. Sometimes it could be negative. What if you did this 6285? You're negative 90 cents. You got to make more money, right? And the whole point of it is using the current money that you have efficiently. And here's the other thing too. A lot of people always say the word realistic. Let me tell you something. Banks hate poor people. So if you're poor and you think that they're going to give you a ton of debt, that's really unrealistic, okay? Cuz banks don't lend money to people who need it. They don't. I don't know what people are like use the word realistic. I don't like that word. Realistic is when you make money and the bank hopes that you take on a lot of debt and you don't pay them back too quickly. That's what they want. And that's realistic for them because they have the tallest buildings. You ever notice that? They have the tallest buildings. You ever see like the downtown uh, building or a downtown Atlanta Regis building? It's like, that's a huge building for a bank. I wonder what product they produce. Oh, they just shuffle paper. That's nice. All right. So what we do with velocity banking is that we purposely don't save money and we're going to increase our cash flow onto something called a line of credit. Line of credit. So, what's a line of credit? All it is a financial tool where you could borrow money, pay back, and use it over and over again. And I had no idea these things even existed. All I thought the only types of lines of credit that existed were credit cards. So, when I realized, wow, banks have products where you can literally dump cash into your checking account whenever you want, I was like, I'm in. Right. And they said, hey, even if it's like an 8% interest rate, or a 10% interest rate, As long as you have the cash flow, the effect of that 8 to 10% interest rate, it kinda matters, but don't really matter that much, right? But here's the part that really gets most people. This is where, like, they get shocked internally and they have what we call the velocity banking poker face, okay? So, let's assume that we have I don't even know, we don't need 250,000. Well, okay, we'll say 250,000 just because um, that's what I got, right? Well, I got 280 technically, but let's assume that we have what do we have? I don't even know. What do we have? Okay, we have a $250,000 line of credit, and let's start moving some debts into that line of credit, right? Kind of like what do you call it? Not a debt. Well, it is technically a debt transfer, but kind of like a consolidated loan, right? It's debt consolidation. Okay, let's move, and I think this is $72,000 of credit card debt into the line of credit 72000. Okay, now what happens to these credit card payments? It's 000, and we literally went from $0 to $2,392.50. And then the final step is that we make our line of credit as our main operating account. So the difference between the average American and the Velocity Banker is the average American just pays for things in their checking account and whatever's left over goes into savings, right? Whereas here with Velocity Banking, we're going to dump all of our money into a line of credit and then take our expenses out of a line of credit and then use our cash flow to pay down the line of credit, right? How do we go from 0 to $2,392? I don't know. Maybe this is a scam, and I think that's what a lot of people think. If it's a scam, then how did I pay off my mortgage in 2 years and 9 months? And this is just a quick plug from me just so I can flex and brag. Paid off my mortgage in 2 years and 9 months. I don't even know how I did it. I must have gotten lucky. Whatever. The harder you work, the luckier you get. You ever hear that phrase? I truly believe in it. All right, so now but this is the part where I think people would just have a hard time because they think like they need to make more money. First of all, if you're poor, bank's never going to lend you debt, right? Or the best you'll get is like a $500 credit card. Did you know that the average credit card debt in this country is only like $6,000? Because banks don't like to lend to poor people. They like to lend to me people who make good money, and they're just kind of irresponsible with it, right? Kind of. Not so irresponsible that you're 90 days late, but kind of irresponsible that you're not going to ever overpay, right? That's the bank's favorite customer. And so what we're going to do is put our entire paycheck into the line of credit, take our expenses out, and after every single month, the balance of that line of credit will go down 2,392. The beauty of the strategy, when I dump that entire 6,200 into the line of credit, it satisfies the minimum monthly payment and it lowers the average daily balance. Okay. So that's the beauty of this strategy. And if you combine this with credit cards for your general expenses, whoa, it's like you're delaying the interest that you would pay on your line of credit for technically a month. That's crazy. Love using this with credit cards. All right. So now what we're going to do is get the next month's balance. Previous is based on the previous month's balance, interest minus our cash flow, which is 2392.5, right? And then what we're going to do is take the average daily balance. Let's go ahead and do that. Multiply by the interest rate, which will be 8%, and then divide by 12. All right, so now let's go ahead and do this, and we see that every single month the balance of the credit cards, which have been transferred into the line of credit, is gone. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. I can't believe it's not even butter. Remember that commercial? I can't believe it. And so the poker face, and what do I mean by velocity banking poker face? The fact that you're shocked, I'm assuming starts from here when you go from 0 to 2,000, and then the fact that you're dealing with $72,000 of credit card debt, and then that's been easily defeated in less than 3 years. Because again, the average credit card debt in this country is only like 6 grand. So let me just actually type it in. Average credit card debt, right? Yeah, about 6 grand. So, most people don't even have that much credit card debt. Alaska has the highest. Interesting. Maybe because you gotta spend all that money to go to Costco, and maybe the Costco is a lot more expensive there and fight the cold. I don't know. But I think they have a Costco in Alaska, if I remember from Yelp. And then Iowa has the lowest, right? So you want cheap living, go to Iowa. All right, so now let's go here 34 months, 34 months, and then we're good. 34 months. You see how easy that was? Like I just can't believe it, right? And people get shocked because they thought you had to make more money, and that's the trap. Make more money, get more credit card offers in the mail. Oh, it's just a monthly payment, zero savings. But what if you dump all your money into your debt with the help of a line of credit, right? And so now people clearly understand this because I just asked, I didn't, do it so hard where it's like, well, amortized loans are like this and lines of credit like that. No, no, no. It's just, hey, you have zero left over. You have a way to borrow money from the bank to make it easy and efficient to pay off the debt. Do you need to make more money? It's like, whoa, borrow money from the bank? You're not blah, 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 right? So here we went from zero to $2,392.50. Okay. And then luckily we have a loan calculator to help us figure out what the current balance of these loans are, right? The loan calculator. And so at 34 months, our auto loan is actually almost finished. It's only 9 grand. And so why don't we just put this 9 grand into the line of credit and get our $400 back in cash flow, right? Let's do that and see how easy it is to pay off that auto loan. Okay. So this is going to be plus 9939.15. And then how much is our cash flow now? This is now 0. And then our cash flow is almost, not yet, but almost $3,000, $2,700. And let's rinse and repeat the process again. Okay. We're going to rinse and repeat. So it'll be 2787.81. Okay. And then, at 38 months, we're going to pay it off. So 72 plus 22, which is 94K. All right. So now, well, actually, not this one. We have our student loan. Okay. And this is just going to be the final one that we pay off, right? So this is going to be 38 months, right? And so the reason why we paid off the auto loan instead of the student loan, even though student loan has the highest interest rate, is we're immediately looking for cash flow. So $9,000 to get about $400 of cash flow, or $30,000 to get $444 of cash flow. Which one gives you more bang for your buck, right? So that's what this CFI cash flow index means, but I'm not going to go too much into it right now. And let's just deal with the student loan, get rid of that. Okay, get rid of that. And then I'm just going to go in here and then copy and paste. All right. Whoopsie. Well, let's move the student loan into the line of credit, 29813.13. Okay. And how much cash flow do we get here? Just an extra 300 or $400. So this is 0. And then I am going to copy and paste this. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that. And this is going to be 3231.89. And then in 47 months, it's all going to be paid off. 47 months. All right. So 47 months, this is going to be 94 plus 40, 134K. Okay. So now we have an option of just focus on paying off the mortgage or maybe expanding our wealth. Okay. And again, I know a lot of people, I don't know if people are really that interested in real estate investing these days anymore, because I feel like all the gurus and all those other people have kind of sucked the life out of people with like their $20,000 3-day seminars. But I'm gonna be honest, I actually sell a $20,000 product too. So it's not like, well, I do this all for free because I care about helping people. Honestly, I don't care about helping most people. I'm not gonna lie, because most people, they're lazy. So it's true, but the reason I say this up front is because I only wanna help people who put some effort in. It's true, it's true, and I think it's been working out for me because the thing that would stress me out the most is trying to help people who are just lazy. That's the worst, you know? Alright, so now let's go ahead and why don't we invest in rental real estate? And I don't know how the market is doing in your area. I know people talking about slowdown and stuff, but in Georgia, real estate is still quite expensive. You know, if you bought real estate like 10 years ago, in 2015, 2016, anything could have been a deal if you just held on to that sucker for like 10 years. You know, like 10 years ago, anything could have been a deal. But then I bought in 2022 when the market was at its peak, and I bought it at a $100,000 discount. So luckily, the good thing about rental real estate is that you could buy it at a discount. You can, right? Maybe put 10, 20, $30,000 in repairs. It's still a discount. And then rent it or sell it or do whatever you want. But the easiest way to skip time in real estate is buy it at a discount. Okay. A lot of people don't even realize that this is possible. I show them, like, hey, here's the Zillow listing. And I don't even think I've done that good because I've seen people buy, like, I don't know, like a mobile home for like $4,000 and the market value is like 100. I got to do that someday. I'm an amateur compared to some of the other people that I know. Okay. I'm an amateur. Okay. But at least I bought a real estate at $100,000 discount, right? $100,000 discount. And so let's go ahead and just buy real estate, right? 38 months. We could even do it with our line of credit. We'll say, $200,000 all in, and we'll make this into a rental property. Okay. With the rental property, we'll get maybe about $2,000 a month in rent. So plus 2,000. And then we'll say, there's that general rule about how 70% is profit or gross income, and then 30% is expenses. I think I don't even know if I'm using the words right, but you just say, hey, point 0.7, you get 70% of that $2,000, right? And so your cash flow is about $4,631.89. Okay. So let's go ahead and update our cash flow, our income versus the tenant's income. How long does it take to pay off that sucker? Even at an 8% interest rate, 8%, 8% interest rate. How long is it going to take? 51 months. 51 months to pay off a rental property. 51 months. Okay. Now, if you know anything about rental real estate, usually the loans are at 8%. Okay. And it took us 51 months to pay off rental house one, right? Right? Timeline. And then we'll say property number. And I think people get really shocked by this. And if you don't know how much is 51 months, it's about 4.25 years. Think about it. If you had a property that's paid off in 4.25 years, you're way ahead of the average American. Way ahead. Now, you haven't still paid off your personal mortgage. I mean, it's a cheap 3%. But if we got an 8% line of credit, I'm sorry, 8% investment property, whether it's a loan or a line of credit, let's pay it off as quickly as possible. Because I don't know if you know this or not. Okay, let me just go to a loan amortization calculator. Let's go here. If I have a 30-year mortgage at 8%, 30-year mortgage at 8%, look how much interest I'm paying. $200,000 of the loan and $328,000 of interest. There's a reason why there's so many tired and broke landlords, okay? And in fact, probably because they don't even know this strategy. Tired landlord. You ever hear about the phrase tired landlord? You want a real estate deal? Talk to a tired landlord. Tired landlords probably hate their tenants because they don't know why all of their tenants' money is being sucked out of them. And remember, I don't know if you saw me react to a Chase Bank commercial in Family Guy. It's like your business is a reverse funnel to Chase Bank. I mean, is it not? Is it not? $328,000. It's crazy, right? All right. So now we're gonna go here. Okay, rental house. And we'll just do another rental house. We don't even need to be too greedy. You know, people like rental or property investors, something, the market. All right, well, let's try it one more time. We don't need like 20 houses. We'll get two. Okay. we'll get to, because it's not just about the house, it's about the quality, the equity, right? So we'll get buy another property and then have 2 tenants now pay us, okay? And let's see how much we update our cash flow, and we'll see how much it takes for us to pay off the rental property. Get it at a discount. Remember, that's where the true wealth is made, when you buy from discount to market value. If the property is $300,000, gotta buy it for two, right? If the property is 100,000, buy it for 20, right? People do it all day, every day. Although it's not the retail market, it's what the prices that an investor must pay in order to get the return on investment. 38 months. So let's check out how much that is. So 38 months. What's 38 divided by 12? Okay. All right. So a little bit more than 3 years. Have you ever heard of paying someone pay off their mortgage in a little bit more than 3 years? Well, I've never heard of it, but you know what I've heard of? I'm going to go back to this again, paying off a mortgage in 2 years and 9 months. And I think this is the part where, people get really, I don't know if it's scared or they just don't wanna learn. Because the thing I'm expecting when I show you this is, again, this is just basic Excel math. I don't know if 3rd graders can do this math anymore, because obviously, like, when I look at teacher TikToks, they say, like, the 12th graders don't even know how to read. But back in my day, this was 3rd grade math, right? And we literally just kind of created cash flow and wealth and made it relatively simple, and we paid off a rental house in 3 or 4 years, and we still haven't paid off our personal home, but it's okay, we're building wealth, and then eventually we just pay off the personal home, right? See how easy that was? Oh my goodness, that was so easy. And most people, when I present this to them, they just run away. They just run away, right? So, one of the reasons why I call this a cult is so that you don't run away. You just come in every single day for your velocity banking cult lessons from your cult leader. Don't run away. Don't run away. I get scared when you run away. I'm just kidding. No, I don't. But I'm pretty sure you're scared, because it's like, breaking out of the matrix. Like, what? Because, if you, and I actually have a 30-year mortgage at 8%, it's like 7.99. I can't imagine any landlord paying this for like 30 years. Like, that is the most ridiculous thing. Like, being a landlord, most of them are just being hustled by banks, right? They're being hustled by banks. All right. Well, yeah. So that's it for today, folks. So this is Korean Atlanta Mentorship. Hopefully you won't run away, and you're not too afraid to learn this, because it's relatively simple, just basic Excel math, right? All right. Have a great day, folks, and I'll see you on the next video.